Hey guys, it's Marcus here, and as you can see, we're back with the Master League, Crystal Palace Master League to be precise. And of course, like I said at the end of the last episode, we are into January transfer window. So with that being said, we're going to be playing some new players, of course, here and there, likes of Ignacio, Camacho, and whatnot. I'm sure that's who it is focusing on right now, the camera on Camacho, the new centre defensive midfielder who we have playing instead of Miles Jedinak, because we sold Jedinak for like 14 million or something, which was ridiculous to think of. But with that being said, we go up against Sunderland, and Sunderland have bought some players already, likes of Diego Perotti is playing at left wing for them. And as you see from our team is basically more or less the exact same, except for Camacho coming in, Emery Chan on the bench, as well as Brahimi and Big Fisher as well. So in today's episode, we actually do buy some of our players, but it is going to focus a lot more on the games in particular, because we don't have that many players we're actually going to buy in the end, because I think our team is good enough to stay where we are. So if you didn't know already, we're actually top of the table, if you've missed out this whole season, and doing pretty well actually, surprisingly. So in the 23rd minute of the match, Suarez on the ball, running down his left hand side, plays into Castanos. Castanos just takes like 2 or 3 massive touches. Don't know why Manoni doesn't come out, and Castanos just pings out the near post to make it 1-0 to us in the 25th minute of the match. So pretty decent result so far. Well, pretty decent goal actually, to be honest, against Sunderland in the Stadium of Light. And in the 37th minute of the match, they play a really nice ball into Toivonen, try and get a header away, doesn't really come to anything. Jack Butland just ends up picking up the ball, as you'd expect from the competent goalkeeper. And in the 43rd minute of the match, Joel Ward on the ball, plays it into James McCarthy, doesn't come to anything. Kabay on the ball, however, does get the ball back from Sebastian Larsson, gets a strike away eventually, and he just pings it right into the top corner to make it 2-0 to us, just before the half time, which again solidifies our lead in the game in particular. So with a 2-0 lead against Newcastle in the 78th minute of the match, we end up making some substitutions. They actually end up giving the ball straight to us from a goal kick. Well, Pantilimon gives it straight to us from a goal kick, and we don't make any mistake, and Castanos pings it in the back of the net. It's a bit of a scummy goal to score, but to be honest, we gave it straight to me. I just ran up there and he decided to pass it straight to me. There's nothing if I missed that, would have probably just cut it out anyway. So considering I scored, I was like, well, I might as well show it. So with that being said, in the last minutes of the match, he just passed the ball around the back for some reason. I have no clue why, and we end up winning the game 3-0 against Sunderland, the Stadium of Light. So pretty decent result against Sunderland. As I've said before several times, I will only show the table and whatnot at the end of the episode if the 3 matches in the episode actually are corresponding in terms of the Barclays Premier League. So of course, as you can see here, we just go straight into the negotiation status. So looking at other players to buy, we end up actually looking at Fernando Carrasco, Sergio Roberto, Jordan Much looks like he might be leaving, and John Guidetti, the former Manchester City player. So we end up buying Carrasco from Atletico Madrid for about 6 million. We end up getting Sergio Roberto on loan from Barcelona for about 800 grand, or it's like 600 grand or something like that. And we end up selling Jordan Much, and we end up getting in John Guidetti. Now the reason we sell Jordan Much to Mithwog Xanthi is because he's not really going to be playing much, and he's not, I wouldn't say he's old, but he just doesn't really fit in with my sort of playing in general. I mean, he's rated 74. He's not old, but it's like, well, I could always get a better player if I really need to get him. So John Guidetti as well, of course, try and get reduced the transfer fee. There's no point trying to pay like 5 million for players rated 74 either, and some other players and whatnot. So anyway, we do accept the 667 grand you have to pay for Sergio Roberto. We end up reselling Jordan Much for 5 million to Mithwog Xanthi, and we end up getting John Guidetti from Celta Vigo for about 4 million, which is pretty decent, to be honest, overall, getting some backup players and whatnot. Romagnoli for some reason was being like scouted by like nearly every team on the planet, and I was like, no way am I going to sell him, so it doesn't really matter. So with that being said, as you see, Real Madrid have announced that they've signed Jerome Boateng from FC Bayern Munich. So yeah, weird that Bayern Munich are buying some good players and selling some good players. So anyway, going into the second match of this episode, it is in the Capital One Cup against Chelsea at the Estadio del Nuevo Triunfo. Of course, in this particular match, we played a lot of the youngsters, a lot of the new players in general, trying to play a lot of the reserve team as well, just to basically try and give them a match here and there. But of course, playing against Chelsea, we've beaten them once in the league, and we know that Chelsea are a ridiculously strong team, but they decided to play their strongest team. It was really weird. But when you look at our team, you have Butland, Romagnoli, Maicon, Ward, Friars, Camacho, Chan, Roberto, Carrasco, Zaha and Fisher. Out of all those players, Wilfred Zaha, Romagnoli and Joel Ward and Jack Butland are the only 4 players who are basically our main starting lineup. While with Chelsea, they basically played the exact same team they played against in the league, which was like their strongest team possible, with likes of Oscar, Hazard, Willian, Diego Costa, Matic, John Terry, Gary Cahill, Piszczek, Azpilicueta and Courtois. So this game is always going to be ridiculously difficult, considering we were playing not a completely a reserve side, but a relatively little bit more reserve side. And in the 33rd minute of the match here, we get an opportunity, but Jack Butland is there just to basically keep us calm at the back as we get the opportunity. Joel Ward basically already dead by the 34th minute, which is a bit ridiculous. But in the 53rd minute of the match here, Chan steals the ball, gives it into Fisher. Fisher gets a strike away. And it's a really good strike, and it's a ridiculously good save from Courtois. Taking him into the 75th minute of the match though, Roberto on the ball doesn't really do anything, gives it into Willian. Willian gets the header away. Really easy save for Jack Butland. Like they were getting shots on target, but they weren't really like forcing anything special. But in the 90th minute of the match, that horrendous tackle from my corner changes the whole game, as referee gives me a straight red card for it. And I was like, okay, this is going to change everything. So going into the into the first half of extra time, we're just running on the left hand side of Wilfred Zaha, and just run for a ages, get a strike away, really good save from Courtois. Again comes out again to Wilfred Zaha, he just runs again, tries to pass it into Roberto, tries to get a strike into Fisher actually, to try and get a strike away, doesn't really come to anything. I brought John Guidetti on as a substitute, and basically like Camacho did a pretty decent job in midfield. Zaha himself was, well, he was filling in, like he was playing left mid, but he was also playing like a defensive mid as well. It was a bit ridiculous, to be honest. And in the 98th minute, look at this, for ridiculous pressure from Chelsea as they run all these players forward. Eventually Ramirez on the ball, and Murillo just comes out, steals the ball from like he's not there. Eventually gives it into Wilfred Zaha, and look how many players are following Wilfred Zaha as I'm running down his left hand side with a fully fit Ramirez. But 4 players are all running at Wilfred Zaha. Eventually I just continue to run down the left hand side, get down the left hand side. Eventually Mikel steals the ball back and gives it into Ramirez. And eventually we just end up like, just being under much more pressure as Gary Cahill running forward. Like everyone was running forward in a particular game. But in the 117th minute of the match, Gary Cahill on the ball plays in Diego Costa. Friars is running back. Both players are basically dead. I just hack him with Friars. I knew I was going to get a red card. I knew it was a cynical challenge, and I was expecting the red card, and the referee gives me a straight red card. So down to 9 men. Having been down to 10 men basically from the whole of extra time. Free kick in the last minute, which Cesc Fabregas takes. It's a ridiculously good free kick. Jack Butland, however, just easily just grabs hold of it. We actually injured Diego Costa, which I was actually happy about, because it means it makes Chelsea a little bit more terrible going forward in the long run. And a 0-0 against Chelsea at the Estadio del Nuevo Triunfo means we go into a penalty shootout. As you see from the stats, the game was ridiculously close, but from the penalty shootout we always knew it was going to be difficult, because our team was basically dead and we weren't playing our best players, so it was always going to be hard in the penalty shootout. But for some reason, I'm sure I brought on Yohan Cabaye. I don't remember why I brought him on, but I did bring him on, and Yohan Cabaye was taking our first penalty. So going against Courtois, an 87 rated goalkeeper who's only like 21 years old or 22 years old, Cabaye hits it to the left and he just was flying to the right. It was ridiculous how far he actually jumps. But Jack Butland coming up for us, Eden Hazard for Chelsea, he hits it to the right, and again Jack Butland jumps the wrong direction. So 1-1 after 2 penalties, and then we had John Guidetti taking his penalty in, and it was a good penalty, but Courtois just casually grabs onto it like it was just ridiculous. But Ramirez taking the penalty for Chelsea, and Jack Butland actually makes a pretty decent save. He actually saves the penalty, which was surprising considering that last time he did it, we had a penalty shootout. He jumped like two the right way twice, and he missed it both times. But yeah, as you see there, Wilfred Zaha misses his penalty, and it's still 1-1 between the teams after 5 penalties. But Fabregas steps up, he hits to the left, we jump flying to the right as well to make it 2-1 to Chelsea. And then it comes up to the last penalties of the match, essentially. Fisher comes up with his penalty, he hits it to the right. Courtois actually jumps the right way, but it's good enough penalty for us. And then Matic steps up for Chelsea. He has opportunities just to ping it in the bottom right. He actually takes a horrendous penalty. Easy save for Jack Butland. And then it comes to us, which we could potentially win. Take a lead. We end up hitting the post. And I was like, okay, it's not going our way. We're probably going to end up losing this match. And the last penalty was being taken by, I think it was Ramirez? or Mikel? Mikel. So John Obi Mikel taking the last penalty for Chelsea, or of these ones so far, or the next penalty for Chelsea. Takes the penalty, he pings it to the top right hand corner, and Chelsea have beaten us on penalties. So considering that we went all the way into penalties against Chelsea, it wasn't really too bad in the Capital One Cup, something I didn't really care about winning at all. Like I've said before, I care about getting in, either winning the league or staying in the top 4 in general, or the top 7 to be honest. Courtois got man of the match with 6.5 rating. QPR actually beat Man United out, Arsenal just about beat West Brom out, Man City beat Sunderland through, and in the next round Chelsea have Derby, so I mean I didn't really care much to be honest. But as you see here, Lionel Messi of course wins World Footballer of the Year, so the Ballon d'Or equivalent. And it was, again, not surprising, he won UEFA Best Player of the Year, and now he wins the World Footballer of the Year. It makes perfect sense. So, with that being said, we also looked at selling Lee to a team. I don't remember what team we actually ended up selling him to. We ended up selling him to Sporting Lisbon. So we sold Lee to Sporting Lisbon because, again, we've got Brahimi, we've got other players in there now, Carrasco as well. It's got some better players who can potentially fill in those slots that we've sold some players for. And into the last match of the episode, and it is against Ronald Koeman's Southampton. We were playing Wanmi up front, they had McQueen at left mid, and Mana at attacking midfield, and Cocker and Jose Font. Of course, they won't have Virgil van Dijk in this particular Master League, because of course I started the Master League before the second data pack came out, where Virgil van Dijk should technically be in that data pack. If he's not, it's going to be a bit ridiculous on Konami's side, but anyway, yeah. So when it comes to the opportunity, I actually might be able to buy Virgil van Dijk and get him basically for free in my Master League, which would be pretty decent if he's a higher rated player. But anyway, going a bit off topic. In this particular match against Southampton, we knew it was going to be difficult coming off the Chelsea defeat, but we always knew we could always come back and potentially win the game at St Mary's Stadium. So in the 7th minute of the match, Balassi down his left hand side runs past Cedric like he's not even there, eventually just runs past all more players, runs past Tadic as well, gets the strike away. It's a ridiculously good save from Fraser Forster. But 5 minutes later, Brahimi down the right hand side, eventually plays the ball into Cabaye. Cabaye runs past Jose Font like he's not there, gets the strike away, and it pings it just wide. And in the 21st minute, Suarez, as a corner kick, hits it in towards Castaños. Actually, it wasn't Castaños who actually headed it, but James McCarthy picks up the ball, just so goddamn composed, and pings it back to net to make it 1-0 to us against Southampton. Now, James McCarthy just coming up here and scoring all these goals for me. It's a bit ridiculous that out of all my players to score, it's James McCarthy. I would recommend, if you have been playing this game offline, he is one of those players who's just like ridiculously good. So James McCarthy, I'd recommend him. But in the 34th minute of the match, Steve McQueen on the ball. I don't actually know what his name is. Plays it into Wanmi, and Wanmi just gets the opportunity and pops him back to the net to make it 1-0 just before half time. And Wanmi scoring that goal was a bit annoying, but I mean it was sort of expected. And in the last minutes of the match, we try and get forward again, nothing comes of it, and Mana picks up the ball. I sort of stopped playing because I knew the referee was going to blow a whistle regardless of what I did. And that was the final score, so 1-0 between the two teams. The game was ridiculously close. James McCarthy got man of the match, and as we see from that, Aston Villa drew for Arsenal, West Ham and Watford drew for Man United, but we're still top of the table. Somehow, 2 points clear Chelsea on the same points as Man City, top of the table by goal difference. So if you have enjoyed this video, subscribe to my channel for more, and catch you later.